The first 2 months of 2025 have already delivered some of the most electrifying boxing knockouts of the year. From rising stars making statements to veteran champions proving they still have power in their hands, January and February have been filled with unforgettable moments inside the ring. Whether it's a perfectly timed counterpunch, a devastating uppercut, or a one-punch knockout that left the crowd in shock, these early-year fights have set the tone for an action-packed year in boxing. One of the most talked-about knockouts came from a highly anticipated welterweight showdown. The fight started with both fighters feeling each other out, but as soon as the second round began, things took a dramatic turn. The underdog, facing an undefeated contender, landed a thunderous left hook that sent his opponent crashing to the canvas. The punch was so clean that the referee didn't even bother with a count. He immediately waved off the fight. The knockout not only shocked fans, but also sent a message to the entire division that this fighter is a serious threat. Another jaw-dropping moment happened in the heavyweight division, where two knockout artists clashed in what was expected to be a brutal...
He thinks Isla is going to stand and trade, and that suits Medeiros really well out of the gate here. And Medeiros hammering away along the right.
We're able to forget his name. Those guys were probably scared of him, just overlooked. He's now a real player in this division.
Isla walking. Side, a right hand, and then Medeiros doubles up the left, and that may have... on the back pedal and a big right overhand followed by a left. That's going to be it. The best on the loose in Vegas. Harley Medeiros with an impressive knockout here in the third round.
War. For 3 rounds, both fighters traded heavy shots, with neither backing down. Then, in the 4th round, the veteran fighter unleashed a perfectly timed right uppercut that connected flush on his opponent's chin. The impact was so devastating that his opponent's legs gave out instantly, and he fell backward, completely unconscious before he even hit the mat. It was a reminder of just how dangerous heavyweight boxing can be. One punch can change everything in an instant. In the lightweight division, a young prospect... with knockout power, was put to the test against a former champion looking to reclaim his spot at the top. The fight started at a fast pace, with both fighters landing clean shots. However, in the 5th round, the young star set up a brutal knockout sequence. He feinted a jab, causing his opponent to drop his guard, then followed up with a crushing overhand right that landed right on the chin. His opponent staggered, then collapsed to the canvas, unable to continue. The knockout instantly went viral, and many now see this young fighter as the future of the lightweight division. One of the most...
From New Zealand, who's had a... walking forward, but I like how he throws there.
Doesn't want to be there.
He should came out in 4. Dubois won last 2, and who's... He gets back to his own.
17 seconds of round number 2. The winner by knockout victory, still the interim heavyweight world champion,
surprising knockouts of the year so far came in the super middleweight division. The fight was between a power puncher and a slick defensive boxer who had never been knocked out before. For the first 6 rounds, the defensive fighter used his movement and footwork to avoid big shots, frustrating his opponent. But in the 7th round, All it took was one mistake. He got caught with his hands down for a split second, and his opponent capitalized with a massive left hook. The punch sent him sprawling across the ring, completely unable to beat the count. The moment left fans stunned, proving once again that in boxing, no one is untouchable. A brutal knockout also took place in the junior welterweight division, where two undefeated fighters put their records on the line. The first few rounds were competitive, with both fighters landing clean shots. However, in the 8th round, one of them landed a perfectly placed body shot that left his opponent gasping for air. The delayed reaction was dramatic. His opponent took a step back, then dropped to his knees, unable to breathe properly. The referee counted him out, and just like that, another undefeated record was gone. It was a reminder that body shots can be just as devastating as head punches when landed with perfect timing and accuracy. One of the most hyped fights of January featured a former champion trying to reclaim his status against a dangerous up-and-comer. The fight was expected to go the distance, but the younger fighter had other plans. From the opening bell, he pressured his opponent, forcing him to fight at an uncomfortable pace. By the 4th round, the former champion started showing signs of fatigue. Sensing an opportunity, the younger fighter stepped in and delivered a crushing right cross that sent his opponent flat on his back. The referee began counting, but it was clear the former champ wasn't getting up. The knockout sent shockwaves through the division, with many wondering if the veteran fighter's career was now in jeopardy. In the featherweight division, a technical boxer with a reputation for slick movement shocked everyone with a knockout victory. Known more for winning fights on points, he came into his fight as the underdog against a heavy-handed knockout artist. Most expected him to avoid exchanges and try to win on the scorecards. However, in the 6th round, he surprised everyone by standing his ground and trading punches. As his opponent moved in recklessly, he countered with a perfectly timed left hook that landed flush on the jaw. His opponent's body went stiff, and he collapsed instantly. It was one of the most unexpected knockouts of the year so far, proving that even the best boxers can end a fight with one well-placed punch. The cruiserweight division also delivered an unforgettable knockout in February. Two highly ranked contenders met in a fight that would determine the next title challenger. The fight was competitive early on, but in the 9th round, everything changed. One fighter threw a looping right hand that missed, leaving himself open for a counter. His opponent saw the opening and unleashed a monstrous right hook that landed cleanly. The punch sent the fighter crashing face first onto the canvas, completely unconscious. The referee didn't even start a count. He immediately waved off the fight, signaling one of the most vicious knockouts of the year. One of the most devastating knockouts of 2025 so far came in a junior featherweight bout where a young knockout artist faced off against a veteran known for his toughness. The veteran had never been knocked out in his entire career, but the young fighter was determined to change that. Early in the fight, the veteran absorbed big shots and kept moving forward, showing incredible durability. However, in the 10th round, he finally took one punch too many. The young fighter landed a devastating left hook to the liver, followed by an uppercut to the chin. The veteran froze for a second, then collapsed to the ground. Unable to continue, the knockout sent a strong message to the rest of the division. This young star was here to take over. With 2 months of 2025 already delivering some of the most brutal and shocking knockouts, it's clear that this year is shaping up to be an incredible one for boxing. From rising prospects making statements to established champions reminding the world why they are the best, January and February have set the stage for a year full of high-stakes battles. Fans can only wait and see what's next, but if these early months are any indication, 2025 might just be one of the most exciting years in boxing history.
Rowe returns to the counter.
Oh, kick there. Oh my word!
That's going to be it.
We spoke about the explosive power that Samurai possesses, and the rush like he did. Anyone at 63 kilograms is going night-night.
And at one moment where it was Samurai.
The first 2 months of 2025 have been nothing short of electrifying for boxing fans, with knockouts that left crowds stunned and fighters making bold statements inside the ring. From dramatic one-punch finishes to calculated beatdowns, January and February delivered some of the most unforgettable moments in recent boxing history. As the new year kicked off, rising stars and seasoned champions alike stepped into the ring, looking to make their mark and set the tone for what promises to be an action-packed year in the sport. One of the most jaw-dropping knockouts came early in January when a highly anticipated super middleweight clash ended in brutal fashion. The fight had been competitive through the first few rounds, with both fighters trading heavy shots. However, in the 5th round, one of them unleashed a thunderous overhand right that landed flush on his opponent's chin. The impact sent the fighter crashing to the mat, unconscious before he even hit the ground. The referee immediately waved off the fight, and the knockout quickly went viral, with fans and analysts calling it an early contender for knockout of the year. In another shocking moment, a veteran heavyweight, known for his resilience and iron chin, suffered a brutal defeat at the hands of a young, hungry contender. The fight was expected to go the distance, with many believing the veteran's experience would carry him through. But in the 7th round, everything changed in an instant. The younger fighter timed a perfect counter left hook just as his opponent stepped in, catching him square on the jaw. The veteran's legs buckled, and he collapsed to the canvas, unable to recover. The knockout sent a strong message to the rest of the heavyweight division. There's a new force to be reckoned with. The lightweight division also witnessed one of the most talked about knockouts of the year so far. A rising star, looking to cement his place among the elite, faced off against a seasoned former champion. The fight was a high-paced battle, with both men exchanging blows in an electrifying contest. However, in the 4th round, the younger fighter showcased his incredible precision and timing. As his opponent threw a looping right hand, he slipped under it and countered with a vicious uppercut that landed square on the chin. The former champion's eyes rolled back as he collapsed in a heap, and the referee didn't even bother with the count. It was a statement victory that catapulted the young star into serious title contention. One of the most brutal body shot knockouts of the year happened in a junior welterweight bout, where a knockout artist was put to the test against a durable and defensive-minded opponent. For the first 6 rounds, the fight was a tactical battle, with both men landing shots but neither gaining a clear advantage. Then, in the 7th round, the power puncher unleashed a perfectly placed liver shot that had his opponent instantly doubling over in pain. The delayed reaction was dramatic. The fighter took a few steps back before collapsing to his knees, unable to beat the referee's count. The knockout was a reminder of just how devastating body punches can be when delivered with precision and power. A shocking upset occurred in the featherweight division, where an undefeated champion suffered his first ever knockout loss at the hands of an underdog challenger. The champion had been heavily favored to win, with many expecting him to dominate. But in boxing, anything can happen, and that's exactly what unfolded. In the 8th round, the challenger timed a counter right hook perfectly, catching the champion off guard. The punch sent him crashing to the canvas, completely out cold. The crowd erupted as the referees signaled the end of the fight, and the underdog was crowned the new champion in one of the biggest upsets of the year. One of the most entertaining knockouts of January came in a cruiserweight fight between 2 power punchers. The bout was expected to be a slugfest, and it did not disappoint. Both fighters came out swinging, exchanging heavy blows from the opening bell. The fight seemed destined to end with someone getting knocked out, and in the 6th round, that's exactly what happened. One of the fighters landed a brutal overhand right that sent his opponent flying backward, crashing to the canvas in a dramatic fashion. The knockout quickly became a fan-favorite moment, with highlight reels replaying it over and over. February continued the knockout trend with a brutal finish in the welterweight division. A former world champion, looking to make a comeback, took on a young knockout artist hungry to prove himself. The veteran fighter held his own for the first few rounds, but the younger fighter's power eventually became too much to handle. In the 9th round, he landed a vicious right hook that sent the former champion sprawling to the ground. The referee counted him out, and just like that, a new contender had arrived on the scene. In the junior featherweight division, a knockout shocked the boxing world when an undefeated fighter suffered a brutal first-round defeat. The fight had barely started when the underdog challenger caught the favorite with a devastating left hook. The punch landed clean, sending the undefeated fighter face-first onto the mat. The referee immediately stopped the fight, and the boxing world was left in disbelief at how quickly the fight had ended. It was a reminder that no one is invincible and that every fight carries the potential for a stunning upset. One of the most controversial knockouts of February took place in a middleweight showdown. The fight was competitive, with both men landing big shots. In the 10th round, one fighter landed a clean right cross that sent his opponent down. However, as he tried to get up, the referee stopped the fight, declaring it over. The decision sparked debate among fans and analysts, with some believing the fighter should have been given more time to recover. Regardless of the controversy, the knockout stood, adding another dramatic moment to an already exciting year in boxing. With just 2 months into 2025, the year has already delivered some of the most shocking and spectacular knockouts in recent memory. From dramatic one-punch finishes to grueling wars that ended with devastating stoppages, boxing fans have been treated to an unforgettable start to the year. As the sport continues to produce must-see moments, it's clear that 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most action-packed years in boxing history. The only question now is, what's next?